hadith, I've given the quotation. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, use your hikmah. Udu ila sabil rabbika bil hikmah, wal ma'zit al hasna, wajadilum billati ahsan. Invite all to the way of the Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them, and reason with them in the ways that are best and most gracious. So the remaining part of the answer, I've used human logic to explain why does Islam permit certain things, prohibit the other things, etc. But the final answer, whatever reason we use, alhamdulillah, Allah is the person who knows everything. The final answer is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahu alam. He's the person who has the absolute correct answer. We use the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the Quran and the Sahih Hadith and supplement it with a hikmah. But the best answer is known by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These may be the most probable reason why Allah has prohibited certain things or allowed certain things. And I would request that if every Muslim memorizes the answer to these 20 common questions, even if he is not able to convince a non-Muslim to accept Islam or make him realize the full truth of Islam, at least, inshallah, he will be able to remove the animosity in the mind of the non-Muslim. At least he will be able to neutralize him. So if every Muslim memorizes the answers to this set of 20 common questions, inshallah, he will at least be able to convince 80% of the non-Muslims. 80%. And this set of 20 common questions, how have they been evolved? You know, because you see on the television, on the satellite, in the newspapers, in the magazines, the media is bombarding information about Islam on the television, on the satellite, in the newspaper, in the magazines, and the majority of the media, the international media, is controlled by the Westerners. And they project Islam in the wrong way, not in the true picture. So these misconceptions are evolved around the mind of a non-Muslim by watching television programs, by reading newspaper, and whatever information they get from this media, they think that itself is Islam. So these 20 common questions are based on what the media portrays Islam as. This set of 20 common questions, a few decades earlier, they were different. After a few decades, they may change. So this 20 common question is applicable for this particular time. And alhamdulillah, whichever part of the world you travel, this set of 20 common questions remains the same. Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I have traveled to America, to Canada, to UK, to South Africa. Here I had come earlier, in Malaysia, in Gulf countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE. Alhamdulillah, the 20 common questions are the same. They remain the same throughout the world. As I said, they arise due to how the media portrays Islam as. There may be an additional 1 or 2 questions depending upon the culture of that area or depending upon the surrounding. For example, when I went to States, the common question was that why does Islam prohibit interest? Which may not come in the 20 most common question, but that's common to that particular locality. Or can we have the meat of McDonald's of USA, with halal or haram? These are additional common questions. And as Brother Arif Sultan said, even here in Singapore, there may be additional 2 or 3 questions. On the culture, like you said, the Malay person gets married, they feel that he should wear a particular dress or particular cap, otherwise the marriage doesn't take place. These are additional couple of questions depending upon the locality. But in spite of these additional questions, the 20 basic questions remain the same. And to this 20 common questions, I have added a few questions which are specifically common to the non-Muslims of India. Because Indians constitute about 1/5 of the population of the world. 20% of the world population, they are Indians. And besides that, alhamdulillah, Indians are spread throughout the world. Wherever you will find them. Even in Singapore, many Indians. In America, in Canada, in UK, in Malaysia, wherever you will find Indians. So, invariably, and finally, these even become the common question amongst the non-Muslim throughout the world. And inshallah, I have even compiled the 20 common questions asked by non-Muslims who have some knowledge of Islam. Those who have read certain books about Islam. And when non-Muslim reads books about Islam, he normally reads books written by critics, by Orientalists, who give a negative picture of Islam. So the 20 common questions that will come in their mind will be additional. Like if you were asked yesterday, that does Darwin theory match with the Quran? And I gave the reply. So these additional questions, like somebody asked me yesterday after the talk, that many places the Quran says Iblis was an angel, one place it says a jinn, is in their contradiction, and I gave the answer. So these questions, 20 common questions, arise after reading certain literature of Islam, which have been written by non-Muslims about Islam. So we have another set of 20 common questions asked by non-Muslims who have some knowledge of Islam. And both these set of questions have additional 20 set of questions which are less common. So you have 40 common questions asked by non-Muslims, 40 common questions asked by non-Muslims who have some knowledge of Islam. And additional 20 common questions asked by Christians, that's another lot. In such way, if we master these common questions, inshallah, we will be able to do dawah very easily and with hikmah. As far as today's talk is concerned, I will only be concentrating on the 20 most common questions asked by general non-Muslims. Time doesn't permit us to deal with all the 20 questions. Inshallah, I'll try my level best. Inshallah, I'll at least cover the 10 most common questions. And in question answer time, if people want to ask the remaining, they're most welcome. As much as possible, the time that has been allotted to me, I will try and cover as many questions as possible.